Today we're going to be taking apart this Dyson Outsize Absolute. Yeah, so everything works on it, it's just in need of a little spruce up. So I'm going to show you how to take it apart, we're going to clean it, and then we're going to reassemble it all in one video. So don't worry for part 2, I won't keep you waiting. So let's start taking this puppy apart. Right, so a couple of tools for the job. Hammer, bread knife, I'll explain what that's for in a minute. Flathead screwdriver, just for prying a couple of pieces maybe. Long nose pliers, they don't have to be needle nose ones, just for pulling. A T9 Torx bit. I'll explain why it's shaped like that. It doesn't have to be a power tool, but I have one. A PZ1. Actually, is it PZ1 or is it? I think it's PZ0 actually. A PZ1 will do. I've already done the floor head for this. It came up rather nicely, although it is quite well used. I did actually put the wrong screws in there, as you can see, but I've changed those around. The thing we're going to do is disconnect the battery. These are click-in variants, so they will fit the later V15. Let me demonstrate. For this one, the V15 and the V11, presuming you have a later V11. As you can see, there are two variants. This is the early V11 battery, the one with the trigger issues. As you saw with the last video, we looked at a V11 that had issues. I've done both the heads for, as you can see. This is literally like almost new looking. This one, on the other hand, I mean, it's much better, as you can see, and it's not filthy, but could still be better. Contrast, this head has been used for the Outsize Absolute, and this one has hardly been touched. So, yeah. Next thing we're going to do is remove the filter. And this is actually a different filter to the one supplied with the V15. I'm just checking you can see. It's got a larger diameter. And the seals are a little different. We're going to empty it. Make sure you either have another vacuum on standby or you do this over the bin. You do not do it directly onto the carpet because it might stain. The bin. Push down on the red lever and your bin will come off. I should probably make a screw card for this, and I will in a second. We're going to take off the red bin sealing ring. It is a Torx T9 screw, so we will just do that. Okay, so that's off. That is a tiny little screw. And then this bit here, you should be able to just pull it. Right, well, I eventually got that off. You just need to sort of go in at one of the tabs and just sort of use your flathead screwdriver just to sort of pry up on one, and then the ring should just pop straight out. As for the bin, they're actually different on this one. I do take the seals off. I don't bother taking the bin lid off because that can be a right little sod to get back on. So with this seal here, you can see I'm just gently lifting it up with the pliers, and then once it's lifted up enough, just get your finger around it and just pull it off like that. On this one, it doesn't look like you'd be able to break it as easily, and then our bin can go in for washing. Anyway, we've now got the main machine, so what I'm going to do now is you're going to be doing as well, removing all 6 screws here from the back and carding them up, and these 2 here, so it'll be 8 in total. Once we have all of our 7 screws carded up there, we can separate our cyclone from the motor. It should just come apart. Like that. And our bin release slider thing is actually it's actually designed slightly differently. That's interesting, I suppose. A little bit, maybe. Maybe not, but you know. Oh wow, so that is actually completely different to your standard one. It does actually have a new trigger on it. I did put that on. It is a stainless steel alloy trigger. It was £8.30 off Amazon. I definitely recommend. I mean, it's a pain in the ass getting it all in and off, taking the motor out, bending the prongs and doing all that stuff. But well worth it once it's done. Properly good high quality replacement. But yes, anyway, I've gone off topic. The trigger on here actually is different as well. So I'm going to put this to one side and focus on the Cyclone. What we're going to do is we're going to take it apart step by step and I'll show you what to do. So the first thing we're going to do is take this seal off that goes around here. I don't know if it'll be a pain in the ass to get back on, but hopefully it won't be. Put that in our washing pile. What to do is undo the screws that do up the shroud around there. And they are Torx T9. There we go, so all 4 of our Torx screws have wiggled themselves out. Adapt, succeed, overcome. I don't know how this is going to come off. I think we will need to do our usual prying tricks. So grab a bread knife and just very gently pry up. I think you could, no you couldn't. You can't go from the inside there because it's all just like the upright models. Right, okay, I've managed to get the shroud off after after much time of faffing around. Do not use a hammer and a screwdriver as I have broken it in 2 places and I've dented the plastic unfortunately, but oh well, it'll just go on the cheap. It'll just go up for cheap. I mean, I got it in part exchange for another. In fact, he gave me 2, so I gave him a Dyson V11 for 120 quid and he gave me this Dyson with all of its pieces and Henry, which I sold him a while ago, but he said he didn't want it, so you can just take it back. So on the day I got that back, it just went straight back up for sale because he hadn't used it for 85. So basically sold one item twice, and then he gave me this as well. So yeah, I did also take the seal off here so you can wash that. These 4 screws here, we need to card those up. I'm going to vacuum all of this monstrosity of a mess up and then we will continue. As you can see, they're all carded up. Next, what we're going to do is there are 4 screws here. I don't know, yep, 4 screws there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We're going to release those screws and hopefully we will be able to separate this and hopefully there's enough slack in the wires so we can tap our little connector out. Okay, with our 4 screws removed, our lower shroud should just pop off like that, and yes, this is starting to look slightly more familiar. This seal is actually begging to come off, so we will take him off in a second. Not just yet though, because we need to do our tappy. So, as you can see down there, I don't know if you can, yes you should be able to. It's a very dark hole, I don't know if you can see it, but there is the clip which goes down there. And it's held in by two tabs either side, very small ones. What I do is I tap from the middle. You can choose the top or the bottom part of the clip. I usually just stick the knife in and tap, see what happens. But if you can see it, you can pick either. So, we're going to hold, actually there's not that much slack compared to the one on the V50. There's not that much room compared to the one on the smaller models. So knife goes in, get the hammer, make sure it is actually on the clip. You can see it's very dark, so I'm struggling. This seal is just going to get in the way because I took it off too early. Right, okay, my knife is on the clip, so I'm going to tap like this. As you can see, I've just done one final tap and it's come out. So just gently pull it like this. You see that? Yes. There's a little clip on this side. Undo that clip, pull it out, and the wire holder comes out. You see people pissing around keeping this all intact. Don't bother, just use that simple trick and it just pops straight off. Then you can pull this all out. There's no seal on there, so yeah. And that can be washed as a part. No need to worry about having the electrical wires in the way. You're knackered. Do let me know if you can find these actual wiring looms anywhere. This is the one off the £165 one, by the way. I've knackered it. So I've had to order a whole nother unit to break it to get this bit out of it. So, a bit of a faff, but whatever. Anyway, undo the 4 remaining screws that go under here. 2 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Torx T9. With our outer screws removed, we can start pulling the rest of it apart. So the top part, the cyclone, comes off like that. We actually have a proper gasket, unlike the one on the V15. Ooh, this feels quite, thick and crumbly with dirt, actually. Obviously very well used. Proper workhorse. Yeah, the foam gasket's actually really crunchy. It's just thick coating of dust just all over it. Look, that's literally thick crumbly dirt. So either this machine's been wet at some point or something else, but then if it had been wet, then the screws would have been rusty, so I don't know about that. There's our little bit there, that's all off, so we'll be washing that. Then in here, this is where it's about to get very mucky. We are going to take out the middle cyclones, these little bits here. The foam gasket is already off, conveniently to wash. Look at it, it's just thick, coated with dust. No wonder this thing didn't have much suction. This thing can't breathe, poor thing. One bit, no, so that bit there comes off. That all comes off, the wiring comes through. Get your mouth around that. Next thing I'm going to do is pry the little connector out. You should be able to just poke it through. Pop it through, like that. Take the stupid little ribbon off. Undo the clip, it's on this side this time. I think. Or have I just snapped it off? I think I've just snapped it off. Yeah, I have. Oh well. Oh well. Right, so that comes off like that, and that's all off. That's our loom. Comparing it to the V11 one, it is longer. There's no surprise there. There's no other seals on here, I believe. The seal before on that one came off already. And that is our whole machine. Let's just tidy this mess up and then we'll finish this section. On Dyson V11 Outsize Absolute stripped down. I'm going to clean it. I will show you how I clean it and then we will reassemble it. So, stay tuned and we will be doing that in, well, I'll be doing it in the next hour and you will be seeing it in the next second. So let's take it all downstairs and then start cleaning it. Right, so it's been soaking for quite some time now. Lots of the bits, as you can see. So what I do is we can get our paintbrush, get it a bit wet, give it a flick. Oops. Make sure the part you want is covered in water, like that. Yes, a little bit of fairy liquid on each side of the brush. You don't have to use so much, but just a bit. And let that seep in. Get some of this power spray. 2, 3. On one side, get the part you want, give it a little shake, and as you can see it's grubby, and we're just going to brush like this. Just go around like this, going fairly vigorously if you want to give it a little more of a deeper agitation. Go all the way around, do not miss a spot because it will show up once it's all dry. Make sure, as I said, get everywhere on the outside, really into every nook and cranny. As you can see, I'm just going around with the paintbrush, all the way around. And then you can rinse it off when you're done with fresh water. Do not dunk it back in the water that has been sitting in there. So we'll give that a rinse off now. Alternatively, for a part like this, you can use the shower, so allow me to demonstrate. And as you can see, that flushes all the dirt out. And as you can see, that is now a lot more clean and ready to dry. Right, as you can see, everything is now drying. I've cleaned everything fairly thoroughly. Bits of it aren't perfect, but that's inside the machine. It looks a lot better than it did. And just like that, we are back here ready to reassemble our machine. But issue number one, we need to polish our bin. That is very cloudy and unacceptable, as you can see. So, to polish, what we're going to use, Sif Jif and T-Cut. Okay, and I'll show you how I do it. If you've got polishing attachments for a drill, I would recommend you use them. Get some Sif. Pour it all over the polishing thing. Can you see that? Are we in shot? Yes, we are. Get some on there. Quite a generous amount, but not too much, because we can always reapply. Start sort of at the top half, and then you can flip the bin over and do the second half. So I'll just do that and then get back to you on how I've done. Okay, so as you can see, I've just done quite a bit with this. Done it for a couple of minutes, and it's starting to look a lot better. I'm going to now switch to T-Cut. I've just buffed off the Sif on the inside with a couple of cloths, and we're going to use the T-Cut to do the final coat. Then buff that off. Now, you can use turtle wax on this. I know people do for the Henry lids. I personally don't, because it's quite expensive, but T-Cut works quite well. So we're going to do that. I'm just going to wash my hands and then do the T-Cut. Okay, so after polishing with the T-Cut, we can see it now. It's even better. I'm probably not going to go much further with it, as I will not be listing it for a high-end price, as I just want it gone, really. So we'll get the cycling parts we need, and I'll get back to you once we've got them ready. So you can see we've got all of our seals and gaskets ready. So what we're going to do is, first things for starters, we're going to put these gaskets back on here. So let's just do that. Okay, so these seals are back on here. They just go on, make sure they are seated roughly where they need to be. Then you can get this part here and pop this in. Okay, so we've got that in there now. It just all sits in quite nicely where it needs to go. Then we will put this seal onto this cone here. Little foam gasket is on there. You can line the two tabs up there. I don't know if you can see them. Yes, they just go down. Focus, focus, hocus pocus, everybody focus, as one of our teachers used to say. Anyway, that goes on there and sits nice and flush against there. Then, before we do that, we should probably get our wiring loom back in. So, make sure it's the right one. So, grab our little clip without breaking it. Pop them one into there. They only go one way, so just get that way correct, because that would be a little bit silly if you didn't. And then the clip that I broke, that I just spent ages looking for in Bertie, has been found. Does that... oh god. Yeah, it did snap off. Is that going to be able to go back on? I mean, I might get away with taping it shut. And that is what I'm going to do. Don't know if you can see it, but you actually have to feed the wires up through first, then put the clip on, then push it in. I've got that all on, so now what I'm going to do is put this on top, and then line it up, and then get ready to start building it up from the bottom. Right, okay, that is all back on now. I did actually end up taking the plastic thing, which held the foam gaskets off, and putting it on this part here, rather than having it on the top here. But you could do whatever works. So we will now start building it up from the bottom, and the first bit to go on is this, and I will refit the seals to this. Once that is all in place, we can then, oh, they already want to go through, look. Start feeding our wires through here and then onto here, like this. all the way through as much as it will go. Line it up with the 2 screw holes like that. And I've just put the screws in for the inner cyclone. As you can see, I haven't really done much to them. They are as they are, and then you can use this as a guide beforehand, so just slot it over the top like that, and then just look where the screws don't go, and then where the screws do go will be where the outer screws go for when this is on. So we'll just put this on over the top, but we'll get the seal on first. This bit is the bit that goes on next, so we'll pop that over the top, feed the wires through here, and then put the connector on. A useful tip there is, so tape them together and then you can pull them through far more easily. I will untape them and then get this little black clip back on around them. Okay, so our tool clip is back in. I've just tested it. We will now do up the 4 screws and then get the shroud back on. Once our 4 lower shroud screws are in, as you can see, we can then put our screen mesh thing, whatever you want to call it, on, and that just lines up over the top of this. So let's just do that. Okay, so our shroud mesh screen is back on now. Yeah, you can really see where I've made it look all shit and horrible, as you can see, and obviously where I've damaged it, but as I said, it will have to go up for a good price, well, a low price. If you've done your screw card properly, excuse my awful handwriting, you shouldn't have an issue finding the screws to go back into where, because you would have done it properly. You would know where things go. So I'm going to get the bin rod back on and start putting the rest of the screws in. So you need to put this bit on first and then get your shroud. Sorry, trying to do this one-handed. Get your shroud, make sure it's the right way round, and slot it in, I suppose. It just sort of sits underneath, and then you can just push it all the way home, and then do up those 2 screws to hold the whole thing in place. Okay, so our cyclone and motor are now combined and attached, and they're not going anywhere. The screws are securely fastened. Time to put the seals back on the bin, put the bin shroud scraper thing in with our final screw, which seemed to have fallen out. Anyway, we'll pop that in here. Basically, you just need to push it in, so I will not be able to do it one-handed, I can guarantee. You just need to get it all lined up and then just press it down, pop the screw in, put the seals back on the bin, put the bin back on here. Job's a good one. Reinstall the battery and the filter. The filter, I haven't actually touched it, I have not washed it, I forgot to. But I've got 3 new ones on the way, so I'll just be popping a new one in and keeping this one as a spare. There we go. One Dyson V11 Outsize Absolute. Done. Does it work? Of course it works. Does it have any suction? Still makes that squeaky noise. Finished. Reassembled. I hope I didn't bore you to tears. I hope you've managed to reassemble your machine. I hope your machine is in slightly better condition than this one. I hope everything has gone to plan. If it hasn't, do let me know. Ask me a question. I will be able to help you. Anything you're struggling with, let me know. But we haven't checked whether it runs a power head, so let's do that. Hey, of course it does. We are completely done with our V11 Absolute Outsize Absolute. I hope you found this useful. If you have, please give it a like. If you would like to, please subscribe, that will help. However, only if you want to. I don't expect you to, but you can if you'd like. If you want any more strip down videos, I mean, I could do a V15 strip if you want. I mean, I've got one here that needs to be taken apart, and I could film that. If you'd like to see it, do let me know. I've also got one here that's been refurbished and very clean as well. Ooh, lovely. Which will be for sale soon. Head to Facebook, George Mackay. If you're in Guernsey, it's all over the sell and seat groups in Guernsey, Guernsey eBay, Guernsey eBuy, buy and sell Guernsey, all of them. Just search them up on Facebook and you will find my listings there. But for now, if you enjoyed, please give a like. If you did not enjoy, please give a dislike and let me know why. Something you didn't like, something I missed. One of my techniques may have been slightly wrong. But for now, goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.